Good morning. How we doing? It's managed to position the coffee miles away. Back now. I'm hoping Hannah's going to come from the kitchen with the cups. That'll be really useful. She's coming. Cool stuff. Yeah. So, how we doing? 5th of May. I don't know why the 5th of May sticks in my mind. I think it's because it's a 0505 when you write it down. It always sticks, doesn't it? A little bit. Yeah, so here we go, another day. Good morning, Zoe, how you doing? I was randomly just thinking about love languages. Now, they're not something I knew about until about 15 years ago. And Hannah is really good at talking about these. But, so I'm going to try and introduce it well, and then she'll come and say how it really is, kind of thing. But we all express and receive love in a different way, and a lot of points of tension in relationships can come when we don't understand that. And that's particularly the early part of a relationship. Probably once you've gone past that kind of, I hate the expression, that lovey-dovey bit where no one can do any wrong. When that bit's gone.
I think you managed to do wrong during that bit.
Yeah, I've got 100% managed to do wrong during that bit, and we'll give some examples in a minute. But love as a feeling doesn't last. What do you say? Love is a verb. Love is a verb. That's right, yeah?
Yes,
love is
doing word.
It's an action. It is a continual choice. And it's easier to make that choice when you understand yourself a bit better and understand the other person. Now, obviously, that comes with time, and that's why we have things like dating and getting to know someone, because that helps you decide if it's going to be a long-term thing or it's just they look nice across the room,
Crowded room,
the office, the gym, whatever. And they just look nice. They're not actually going to work out together. You're not actually that compatible. How are you feeling? You all right?
Yes,
a bit too close. Was that all right?
No, that's lovely.
Okay.
I like
Just
being
I feel my shoulders are really big and take
They
up
are.
most of the screen.
I'm used to it.
So, yeah, it's quite eye-opening really when you find out about these things. I can't remember who wrote the book. It's a really good book about it, and probably like a follow-up.
Yeah, there's 5 love languages, and there's 5 love languages for kids, which is also
That's
really
really
good.
cool. Yeah.
I've got right here now. I haven't actually read 5 love languages for kids.
Well,
From everything I've heard,
yeah.
it's really good.
In that sense, it's a little bit like the Chin Paradox, and now they've written the children's version, kind of about the developing brain rather than just the adult brain.
Oh.
And in the early days, I didn't know about this. I got into it as I got to know Hannah, and it was a big help. But that doesn't mean that you don't kind of still. I would still default to expressing love in the kind of way I receive it. And there's 5 different ones. You're better at saying which ones they are.
So, in a nutshell, 5 love languages are acts of service. So if somebody does something nice for you, so if they clean the kitchen, you feel like they love you, or that would be how you would give love to somebody. There's physical touch. Lots of men have this one.
I have that one too.
But it doesn't just mean like sexual touch. So just kind of Mark does have that one, but it means that if we're having a conversation, like a discussion, and if I keep my hand on his hand, then he feels like I'm showing love towards him. If I physically withdraw, it makes him feel like I'm emotionally withdrawing.
Yeah.
So physical touch, words of affirmation. So say nice things to me. Tell me I'm pretty.
Works for guys as well.
Yeah, you're
In the
so
sense
pretty.
of, that was really,
Yeah.
you've done a really good thing there, thank you very much, and all that,
Yeah.
that works as well. It's not just
No, it's not just tell me I'm pretty. So words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time. So quality time is a big one for me. It's one of my main ones. So just spending good time together. So quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts.
Gifts, yeah, giving gifts.
And that doesn't mean like expensive stuff. It just means that somebody has thought about you. So when they weren't with you, they were thinking about you and they saw something and they thought, I'm going to give that to that person. And it might just be like they, I don't know, picked some flowers.
Yeah, yeah. It's just,
yeah.
And like a lot of these things that are kind of categorised, you generally have two of these that are more expressed and then elements of the other ones. Some people have more of an expression of one particularly, whereas some people are kind of across the spectrum a bit more. Hannah's quite across the spectrum in a sense. At different times she'll appreciate all five.
I like to keep him on his toes.
Exactly. So you know, it's like.
But my main ones. My main one definitely is quality time.
Yeah.
And then probably words of affirmation.
And for a long time, I've always thought that I'm definitely physical touch. Like just sitting here now, having coffee, we just sat next to each other. I just really appreciate this time. Because we're literally sat next to each other. And I always used to think that acts of service was my other one, but
he was tricked.
That's how I grew up expressing love, was to do things, and like Hannah's example, cleaning the kitchen, doing all those sorts of things, would be something I would default to doing, but it's more, I think, kind of like a learned behaviour, rather than actually being how I receive love, because I actually don't like people doing stuff for me, and that kind of comes a little bit because of a bit of a control freak and perfectionist. But then words of affirmation actually are probably my second one,
definitely.
Rather than doing things. Sometimes I do things and I've got a terrible attitude about doing it, so that really shows I'm not doing it from a loving place. I literally like grit my teeth and I'm like, right, I'll do that because
flipping clean that sink.
Yeah, because
I'll show her.
In my mind, like, I really think Hannah wants me to do that, and that's what she wants, that's what she needs. But I've backed myself into a bit of a corner and then just done it anyway. So actually, words of affirmation are much more powerful for me, because and then I do get that kind of, oh, he's saying that. It's like, I mean, it's more an internal thing. You know,
he doesn't do that out loud.
No.
So just for clarification, basically, like if you're the kind of person who really loves buying gifts for other people, and like whenever it's somebody's birthday or there's just like a special moment, you really want to buy them a gift, then most probably when people buy you gifts, you'll feel really loved by them. Levi's eating crunchy food.
Rice cracker sticking fully out of his mouth.
So Finley feels loved by
physical touch
and quality time.
That is Finley, 100%.
So if you're going to go and put him in the garden for me, please, Levi. He needs some time outside. It's beautiful. So if your love language is, so my main love language is quality time, which doesn't mean lots of time, but I need to have time with people, and especially like Mark and the kids. Mark is not quality time at all. So he will spend loads of time working, doing loads of things, and he has to really think to himself, I know Hannah needs quality time, so we need to structure that in. And just be really proactive about it. And my love language is not physical touch. Although I am quite a tactile person, it's not how I feel loved at all. In fact, oftentimes if things are like a little bit tense, I'm like, I actually need my space. Like, please don't touch me.
I don't think that's unusual.
No, but it means that I've had to be really proactive about thinking, okay, if we're having a discussion, I know that if I completely physically withdraw, Mark will feel like I'm withdrawing love from him. When I'm not, so I've made a really conscious decision to try and at least like keep my hand on his knee or keep some form of contact, whilst at the same time maintaining my own boundaries.
Yeah, and because, and it's not definitely not all guys, don't get me wrong, because a lot of guys particularly appreciate physical touch, then in a situation like that where you're having a discussion or it's a little bit tense, it's a bit more, there's that element of conflict there for, in our example, for Hannah to withdraw physical contact and kind of show that, it creates this kind of even more heightened conflict. And it's all credit to Hannah that she's over the years been more aware of it, and then not done that. And she'll keep me like at arm's length, but she will maintain that to kind of maintain my engagement on a level that is going to allow us to communicate, rather than me then feel rejected, basically, because that's what it is.
But I think that's the key
outside of the conversation
with love languages, isn't it? Is actually when you learn what your own love languages are, then and you learn what like the people that are close to you, so friends as well. It's not just about partners, and your kids. When you learn what their love languages are, then you're able to ensure that you are showing somebody that they are loved in a way that they're going to receive it really easily. So if Mark starts cleaning the kitchen, I don't think, oh, he loves me so much. I think, well, somebody needed to do it. Especially either me or you.
even more so if it's a time when we could be spending it together.
Yeah.
But
I'd rather he stopped cleaning the kitchen and I'll do it later and come and sit next to me.
It's that conscious thing for me of stopping, because that includes really, realistically, putting my phone away and being present, which I don't find difficult to do in a kind of theoretical sense, but it's difficult to do when you've got a lot going on. And so I've started to try and to practice it. I've started doing it when we go out to walk the dog all together. I leave my phone in the car, or make sure it's like in the bag, so I can't get it easily. And to get it, someone else would see. And even the kids are now kind of keeping me accountable. Dad, leave your phone in your bag. If I'm getting a drink or a snack out, don't get it out. And that's actually helping for times when we are together. And I think a lot of us end up kind of watching TV, but actually being on our phone. We think we're relaxing, but actually we're more engaged with the phone. And sometimes that's legitimate, And the purpose to put the TV on just to be background noise. This is just an example. But other times, actually, we need that. We're supposed to be switching off it after 9 o'clock or whatever on an evening. That needs to be downtime, So
highly
in some ways, it kind of extends into knowing and loving yourself.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
a lot of ways. It doesn't really just, as Hannah was saying, it doesn't just apply to close relationships when you are in a relationship. It also it applies to friendships and things like that as well. And really, really useful. I'll find a link to the book and then post it. And in this day and age, because it's a book that's probably 20 years old or so now, conceptually, there's probably TED Talks or even other things about it that you can find.
Yeah.
And obviously, some people will have gone even deeper into it and could probably subdivide the 5 languages and things like that.
Let's not get complicated.
So understanding yourself, understanding the people you do life with, close to you, it really helps. It really helps over time, definitely.
It's good.
And we haven't got it all worked out. Let's just say that,
Oh no.
It doesn't.
We know it in theory. Putting it into practice is.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's the same with a lot of things in life, isn't it?
Yeah. It's often cyclical as well. I think sometimes you have times where you're kind of like, we're really engaged with this, we're doing this really well, and then life happens, and
the dog's crazy.
And the dog's crazy.
There we go. So as always with these mornings, they're asking how can we help you today, and anything we can help with, any support, please give us a shout. Remember to drop the book link in the comments.
Oh,
and go from there. Have a really good day. Anything we can help with health, fitness, well-being, homeschool, getting reasonable at that. Doing okay.
I mean, any random stuff that we might not know about, we're really good at research.
We love that. Love that. Please ask. That's great. And we'll be back for this at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Have a really good day. Speak to you soon.
See ya.